Yeah, it's time to paint the porch. It's been about 4 years since I did it last. Probably should have done it last year, 3 years. That's about right for, you know, a wood porch that's painted, that has sun and weather exposure like this. That is east, so it gets a lot of morning sun. It gets dampness in the wintertime, and that takes its toll. I've painted a lot of porches over the years, so I know a few tricks. So I'll take you through the process and show you how to do it and get a good job. The first step with any paint process is to clean the surface. So I am going to wash this down with trisodium phosphate, but I'm vacuuming off the walls and the ceiling just to be sure there's no dust and debris that's going to sprinkle down on my fresh paint when I do that. Trisodium phosphate is far and away the best thing for washing something like this. TSP. Not only does it clean dirt, but it cuts through grease, oil, and all kinds of other stains, and it actually etches the existing paint a little bit to give you really good adhesion with your new paint. So this is really dirty. It's going to take a little time. I probably have to go over this a couple of times, but it's well worth it. This is a huge, valuable part of doing a quality paint job. Ugh, look how black that is. I don't know, can you see that? And I've just done this one little area here. What I'm doing now is getting rid of any loose and flaking paint. There's no real use in sanding this. I just want to get back to solid edged material and not have any free loose edges that moisture can get underneath. There's a natural cupping that happens in the tongue and groove boards as they age. And if I sanded, you know, it'd be really difficult. I'd have to sand a lot of these edges down in order to get flat. And there's no real advantage to that. There's also old filling material in these cracks, and I want to get some of that out, any loose filler. Now I can prime all this bare spots, all these bare spots. I want to use a good exterior primer that works for both bare wood and painted surfaces, because as you can see, we have to, you know, go over both. And we want good adhesion. This is really important. And I'm just using a little tiny sash brush to do this because I want to be able to work the paint into some of these grooves, and I don't need to spread it out wide. I mean, the whole idea here is primarily to get adhesion to the bare wood areas. So if I just use the edge of this little sash brush, I can achieve that. What I'm doing now is filling any of the bigger cracks. I've let this primer dry overnight, and now I can get good adhesion with my caulking. Yes, I'm using caulking. I'm using a good quality painter's caulk. I want something flexible. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of expansion and contraction in this wood between summer and winter. Right now it's summertime, dry air, everything's contracted. A lot of the cracks have opened up. There's been some damage to wood in places over the years, and those cracks are a little bigger where I've had some wood split off. So I've got that all cleaned out and I'm filling it. You don't have to use a hard surface filler. You don't want to use it. The reason is it will just chip out. You don't have to worry about strength from like walking on it because it's so small and narrow. It's not a kind of surface that has to support, human weight per se. If you have larger voids where a high heel can step on them, something of that nature, then yes, you have to use a solid filler. But that's not the purpose here. What I do is squeeze the caulking into the crack, use a putty knife to press it down, and then a wet rag to clean it off the top surface. And I'm not working to try to make this floor smooth or to make these cracks disappear. Again, that's not the purpose. I'm simply eliminating voids where moisture can sit and soak into the wood in the damp weather. It's important too to take a little time and fill the ends, because you can see how the tongue and groove, there's these little holes, and that is not good because water does tend to roll to this side of the porch as it is built to slope this direction. So all of this gets filled, and this gets filled, including the end here and here. See that? We don't want to leave any big voids like that for moisture to sit within. You can get a good idea of how this filling process works as I do it over top of this gray. So I squeeze the caulk along the crevice, use a putty knife to press it in, take a wet rag and clean the entire surface and take away all the excess, and then the groove is filled. All right, I'm ready to go here. I have a nice overcast morning to get started. I was a little concerned because it is forecast to be 90 degrees today. And one thing you want to be sure to follow whenever you're doing a paint project is the temperatures that the manufacturer specifies for a working range for the product. This paint, I can work it between 50 and 90 degrees. And that also includes the surface temperature of my porch. So with the sun coming up in the east, usually in the morning, it shines directly on here. This heats up very quickly. If you work outside of the range of what they give you on the product, good chances that you're not going to get a very good paint job. Yeah, modern chemistry is great, and the instructions they give you on that can help you achieve the best paint job possible because they want you to succeed. So my approach here is to work wet into wet. So I'm going to cut in and then roll immediately, and instead of cutting in the entire porch and then rolling the entire porch, I am doing just a small section, each time. And the reason I'm doing that, excuse me, is I don't want to leave the roller's texture on this porch surface. The roller has a different texture than the brush, and I want a nice smooth paint surface. So I'm going to apply paint with the roller, and then I'm going to brush it out. And then I get a nice blend on all my edges and no roller texture left. This paint sets up in about a half an hour. So by working in small areas like this, I can get a good blend with the cut in to the main porch surface. Sun's burning through already. It's only like 7:30 in the morning, so it is going to be a warm day. So I got to keep working along here, see if I can get this nice and smoothed out before we get the warm sun. You know, part of what slows me down on these projects is filming the project. I got to keep taking time to move the camera around and get all that working. Well, I got it done. Looks pretty good. I don't see any little holidays or any bubbles occurring because of the sun. You know, the sun, it's on it. It's skinned over already. It feels a little warm. I would have liked it to stay foggy this morning for a while longer, but it looks like it's doing okay. Nice, it looks good. I've let it dry for 2 days, stayed off it. It takes about a week for the paint to harden up. So I'll wait till then before I put my bench back and before I put my doormat back down. But it looks good, I got a good job done. And I beat the really hot weather. Here it is, 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, it's already 70 degrees plus. Weatherman says it might break 100 today here. And you know, that's when it's not a good time to do the paint job. So I got it done before that, and I'm happy. Yeah, okay, I can move on to other things. Great.